Ladies and gentlemen, next fight evening is 3 rounds of the Cage Legacy Featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, weighing in under 145 pounds. Fighting out of full power MMA, presenting Fran, the Demolition Man O'Brien. Man is opponent making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, weighing in under 145 pounds. Fighting out of SBGi, presenting Christophe Przywara. Cage Legacy 10, we are now in the featherweight division. We have got Christopher Przywara taking on Fran, the Demolition Man O'Brien. O'Brien is in the black trunks with the yellow rash guard, while Przywara is in the green hill black and red. Your referee is Mr. Derek Hickey. This is Noel O'Keefe, and I'm joined by Richard Kiley and Phil Cabell in commentary. We're underway.
Christophe looking very loose as he was making his way to the cage. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fran shoot in for a takedown straight away because he has that freestyle wrestling base. Trying to dig in for the double underhook position right now.
Nice reversal.
And Przywara using his judo experience there, maybe that core strength just to turn O'Brien.
O'Brien remaining calm, just trying to lift the head up of Christophe.
Both fighters just waiting almost for each other, and gets the takedown there. Przywara ends up in the guard of O'Brien.
O'Brien fooling around with rubber guard a little bit there. Just holding on his opponent now, just forcing the referee to take a look at this, shutting down the striking game of Christophe from this position.
And again, O'Brien with that wrestling background, sometimes it's conceived when a wrestler is on his back, he's not as good. And O'Brien joined Full Power MMA to work on his BJJ before he knew he was taking part in K1 sparring sessions and competition, and now here we are fighting MMA. So he's really trying to improve his all-round game. So will that stigma of the wrestler on his back stick here, or can O'Brien change that?
Not much happening here now in full guard, so I wouldn't be surprised if the ref stands him up.
See O'Brien there threatening with that underhook of the leg.
And so O'Brien just trying to work the body of Przywara on the bottom. Przywara, he's not really improving position, and the referee, as you said, Richard, might be looking at this. There's not a lot going on, a little bit of stalling. And O'Brien maybe looking at the referee as well to say, look, not a lot happening here, ref. I've just having a word with the fighter. I think it was more so about the grips of the gloves there.
Yeah, not sure if there was the hand was edging towards the eyes, but the ref straight on it.
I'd like to see Christophe perhaps force the head of Fran against the cage, and then from there start landing strikes. Almost stack the body and then land the strikes from there. Take away the hip movement of Francis O'Brien.
And there's your first warning by the referee to see a little bit more action. So it's actually O'Brien who opens the guard up momentarily there. Maybe he was looking for something, but Przywara, will he get a little urgent? Postures up and makes space now, and O'Brien looking for an arm.
Just timing those shots, doesn't quite seem to have the arm. Christophe doing the right thing by stacking in and stopping the hips of Francis O'Brien.
And O'Brien shakes his way out of it. Good work by Przywara, but good threat by O'Brien. It'll just show Przywara he needs to be careful with him on his back.
Christophe with a good old-fashioned kick up the arse.
Nothing wrong with it. It's in the rule set. It was O'Brien who threatened from the back there. Przywara was sitting in the full guard, but you got to think the judges are going to look at that one with Przywara getting the takedown and landing in full guard and staying there.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing of note that happened in the round.
Second round about to get underway between Christophe Przywara and Fran O'Brien. O'Brien threatened with the submission in the first round, but it was Przywara who got it there. It was in the full guard of O'Brien. Will we see it standing, or will we see Francis O'Brien use that wrestling background you spoke about, Phil?
Good knee in the clinch there from Christophe.
Yeah, Christophe should be utilising his jab. He has the reach and the length on O'Brien, so he should be making me. There you go. You must have heard me. Give me a roll and coaching.
And on the double is Francis. Just needs to connect those hands, elevate the hips.
And as soon as O'Brien felt that jab, he went back to that wrestling background. And a lot of people consider wrestling the best background to come from in MMA.
You can see O'Brien is explosive. Cut that distance very, very quickly.
Christophe connects the hands up in the single, or double leg, sorry.
And again, it's Christophe who gets it to the mat and has the wrestler once again sitting on his back. O'Brien just looking to hold on to the neck there of Przywara.
Yeah, he's getting good instructions from Dollar Declan.
Christophe may just look to step off, bring his opponent off the cage there.
I'm sure our mics are picking up Deck giving out instructions just to stuff the head down, try to use it. Again, we're in a weird position here, gentlemen, where it's almost a mistake by either could really open up big opportunities for the opponent. So both are being careful in what they're doing here. Derek Hickey, he's not applauding the action, he's just asking them to give us some more action.
Francis O'Brien rightly digs in for the underhook on his right side.
Yeah, O'Brien is doing the right thing. The onus here is on Christophe to actually start making things work. He's in the more advantageous position, so we should really start looking to advance his position.
Bit of blood just behind the left ear of O'Brien.
Like to see Fran again dig in for that underhook and maybe use his other hand to base off.
Let's go.
And just again sitting in that half guard position and not advancing, but not doing a lot in the position either. Almost just nullifying O'Brien here.
I think we could be not too far away from a stand-up here if this inactivity continues.
The referee has warned twice. Third time is a charm.
Christophe can step over there. The guard was open and was available to pass.
And Derek Hickey, true to the word, stands both fighters back up. He's actually just looking at a cut. That cut, I think, identified just behind. Seems to be a little bit of a mouse under the right eyebrow as well of O'Brien. You can just see him pawing at his eye there. Back on the way, and maybe that was from that one stiff jab, Richard, that Przywara really landed on your cue.
Yeah, but I think O'Brien is wise to it now, and he's looking to time his shooting off the jab.
Just almost a clash of heads as both fighters diving in for the takedown.
O'Brien landed a heavy shot though.
Again, it's a weird round to score. When they're on the ground, it's almost each fighter is just trying to nullify what the other one is doing, so not a lot of action.
I'd like to see Christophe open up with more shots.
Coming into the third round here at Cage Legacy 10, the featherweights, Christophe Przywara taking on Fran O'Brien, and it's been a real chess match, I think, is a good way of summing it up of a fight.
For me, it's really all to play for here because neither fighter has done anything definitive that makes you feel like the fight is
big right hand there by Przywara, just as you said it, Phil.
I say, yeah, he lands a big shot. That's perhaps the most telling blow of the fight so far.
And Fran bites down on his gum shield and fires back.
Yeah. May look to land some knees from this position.
It was the leg kick that opened, but I'd like to see Fran lead with the jab before he lands those leg kicks. He's thrown those leg kicks and is leaving susceptible to the shots. And he had a big right hand there.
He's got Christophe standing quite square here. If he changed levels, the double leg's there for him because the feet of Christophe are together. He's not splitting that base trying to defend the takedown.
Just to say that, Christophe tries almost a trip there and a hip throw, but
pays for it by eating a lot of mat with his face.
And it's O'Brien climbing up on his back. Does well to turn into O'Brien and get it back to his feet. Nice knee on the inside as well.
That looked to land clean.
Yep.
Fran needs to dig in for double underhooks in this position if he's going to defend the takedown.
Again, Przywara, I haven't been counting, but I think that's 3 for 3 here by Przywara for takedowns.
Fran maybe in on the Kimura here. As you alluded to earlier, he could be using that to sweep. If he opens up the guard, we know he's using it as a sweep.
Yeah, Fran's corner calling for the Kimura, so Christophe needs to be very wary here.
He's closed the guard as well, so what does he need to do, Phil, just to get this?
I think he's abandoned it there. No, I think he needs, if he is going for it, he would have needed to connect his hands in that figure 4 grip and use it to almost work up the back of Christophe, but now he's let it go.
Christophe, little can opener here. Again, that doesn't look like it does much, but it puts great strain on the spine, the can opener. Sometimes it allows your opponent, due to the pain, open up his guard, but...
Referee again calling for action here from the two combatants.
And their kick, he stood them up earlier in the second round. Will he allow it to go on? Christophe will be aware of that, and now he'll have to work from top.
Fran doing well to just stagnate Christophe and stop him from landing anything of note.
Yeah, you got to think he'd be happy with the stand-up at this stage.
And you got to think as well, look at from a judge's perspective here, it doesn't look good for Fran lying on his back, but it's happened in all 3 rounds. They're kicking again, just asking for action from his fighters.
Again, it raises the age-old question in MMA of, do you still score the takedown as highly if not a lot's done with it on the ground? Stand up being called by the referee again.
Yeah, we're back up, and Fran O'Brien is probably going to have to throw the kitchen sink here.
Again, I'd like to see him set up those kicks with the jab.
Bizarre really just bull rushed in looking for that takedown.
Your heavy body shots landed by O'Brien.
You got to think the SBGi man might be thinking he's a couple of moments away from a win here.
Good heavy sprawl by Fran O'Brien. May momentarily just
spins looking for the back. Time is going to get past him here.
Hook in.
Don't quite think he has the time here. Going to land some big strikes.
And that's it. That's all she wrote. The end of the 3rd round. O'Brien, when his opportunity came at the end there, unfortunately time was against him for the full power man. We go to your judges' scorecards. Appreciation for both fighters. After 3 rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored this round 30-27. For your winner, by unanimous decision, fighting out of the red corner, Christophe.